Welcome to Broken Bushcraft. Today I'm going to show you guys how to make a pitch stick. And what's a pitch stick? Well, it's a stick with pitch on it. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And let's kick this off, and I'll show you what a pitch stick is. To make a pitch stick, you're going to need a vessel to put the sap in and then melt it and filter it. I like using soda cans. The reason for that is because this tab up here, if it's not broken off, you can fold it in so as the sap melts, it only lets the sap through and not the wood. If you're using fat wood, this is really good to help filter it out. You can also use an aluminum can, but you're going to need two of those, like a soup can. You're going to punch holes in one, the bottom one will be empty, and all of your fat wood and sap will be in the top one, and as it heats up, it'll drip into the bottom one. So, I'm going to cut this in half, and I'll show you the exact configuration of how this can is going to work. Now the can's cut in half. I'm going to take this inner tab and fold it down. And I just want a little bit of light showing through it. So if you can see a little bit of light there. And then when I set it on top of here, it'll fit like such, with all the sap and all the fat wood being on top of here. And then when I boil it, I'll kind of boil it at an angle so it just filters through. Let's go collect some sap. To collect the sap, you're going to find a pine tree that's been injured or that's just oozing sap. And I'll show you the sap here in a second. You're going to take as much of the sap off without getting as much wood in there. That way it just kind of helps you avoid filtering out a little bit later on. But it's not, if you get some wood in there, it's not a big deal. You guys can make the jokes. Right here you see the sap that's built up. You see another pocket of sap right there, sap right here, sap right there. I'm going to collect all of those without damaging the tree more. And then once we get them all collected, enough collected, we're going to put them in our soda can. You're going to take your fat wood and your sap, you're going to place it in here. Now, this is going to stop a lot of the sticks and stuff from falling through and a lot of wood from falling through. And it's going to allow just the sap to soak through there and collect into the bottom. You may have to widen the bottom of your can a little bit. If you have a piece of pure resin, there's no wood in there, just put it in the bottom of your can. The bottom of the can is going to get hot anyways, so just put the pure stuff down in there. If you can, angle your can so that the angle will drip into it. That might work good for you. However, I've had this where it's been next to the fire and it's fallen over plenty of times to know that just makes you mad. Also, your knife is covered in pine sap. You're going to have to clean this off really good. Run it through the fire, get some sap off there, but you're going to have to clean this up really well. Let's go put this on the fire. Let's go. Now, we're not going to put this directly on the fire. Remember, this is fat wood for the best part. So it will catch fire really quick. We're going to put this near the fire where it's going to melt. If you put it directly on the fire, it'll start cooking that sap that's in the bottom. And then you're not able to collect that tar. Also, you should have a way to get it off the fire. So I'm going to use these sticks, pick it up, and move it. You don't want to grab this with your hands for all the obvious reasons. You're going to let that sit there for a little bit. No rush. All right, I'm going to use my gloves and see if I can grab this off here just to show you what it looks like inside there. I can see it's already melting. There you go. You see the wax melt, or the sap melted in there. Now you could put a binder in here if you needed to, or if you wanted to. You could put ash in there. You could put an organic binder in there. Like you really cut up some of your sawdust from your fat wood or whatever else like that. So once it gets hot, pull it off. Take your stick and just start working it around. Just collecting that sap up until it gets hard. Just work it till it gets hard. Back on and keep it going. So once it comes off, you can mold it fairly quick. It cools down fairly fast. So all you're going to do is keep doing that over and over and over again until you get this ball of pitch. We're going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep doing that. You guys don't have to. And I'll show you the finished product. So there's your pitch stick. What do we use it for? Well, if you have damaged gear, you can put this on the gear. You can melt it down, put it on the gear, and then seal your gear up. If you have a cut, you can put this on the cut. It'll act as a band-aid and as a natural antiseptic. If you do some, like say you tie an arrowheads, they would put, Native Americans would melt this onto the strings because this is hard. So therefore it fixes that right onto the arrow shaft. There's a couple uses for this. Also, you know, it's a fire starter. If you just melt this onto something, you're having a hard time lighting fire, then it's as fat wood times 10. And you can just take this, break the stick down, leave yourself a little bit of stick so you can melt, and just throw it in your pack. It just lives there. It's not going to ever go bad. It takes up no space. So, pitch stick. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I'll see you in the woods. Pitch stick.